If your penis no longer gets hard like it used to, if your energy feels drained, if you find yourself pulling away from intimacy, not because you want to, but because your body doesn't respond, then hear this. It might not be aging. It might be your blood vessels crying out for help. You may feel a strange pressure there, almost like a cramp. And if you ignore it, it won't just shut down your sex life. It will slowly drain your masculinity from the inside out. I'm Dr. Cole, a men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience helping men over 60 reclaim the energy, vitality, and sexual confidence they thought they had lost forever. Here's what most doctors won't tell you. Many older men don't lack desire. They lack circulation, stamina, and hormonal support. And in most cases, the solution doesn't start at the pharmacy. It starts in your fridge. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 science-backed foods proven to prevent penile blood flow cramps, restore circulation, and help you feel strong again without medication. And one of them works so quickly, you may feel the difference before the week is over. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this video from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Alright, let's dive into the first food that could completely change the way blood flows to your penis. 1. Beets, the natural recharge battery for your manhood. If you've ever felt a strange tightness down there, like a vague pressure with no clear cause, not exactly pain, but definitely discomfort, then listen closely. Because it might not be aging. It might be a sign that blood is no longer flowing properly. I once had a patient named Paul, 68 years old, who came to me confused and worried. He said, "I'm not in pain, but every time I get aroused, it feels like someone's squeezing my groin. I just can't get going. I can't stay hard, but I used to be very active." Paul isn't alone. Many men over 60 don't suffer from erectile dysfunction. They suffer from localized blood starvation in the pelvic region. And in most cases, the root of the problem comes from something surprisingly simple, a lack of nitric oxide. After age 60, the body slows down its production of nitric oxide, the molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and allow blood to flow into the penis. Without it, those vessels become stiff and narrow, like old pipes clogged with debris. Even if your heart is strong, blood can't reach the right place. And when blood doesn't flow, you can't get hard. Or if you do, it's weak and short-lived. Beets are the key to reversing that. This root vegetable contains one of the highest natural sources of nitrates. When you eat or drink it, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. And that's where the magic begins. Nitric oxide softens and widens blood vessels, especially the tiny arteries in the pelvic region. Blood can finally surge into erectile tissue, filling the corpus cavernosum, just like air filling a balloon that had been half flat. Not only that, nitric oxide boosts nerve sensitivity in the genital area, making arousal more noticeable and helping reduce the spasms or groin cramps that so many men silently suffer through. I advised Paul to drink 1 glass of fresh beetroot juice each morning on an empty stomach for 7 days. The result? On day 5, he messaged me something I'll never forget. "This morning I woke up, sat on the bed, and it was saluting me. I haven't felt that in ages." But what moved him most wasn't just the erection. It was the feeling of being himself again, of being alive, of being vital. No pills, no side effects, just natural physiology, reawakened with a simple glass of beet juice. Don't let a basic problem turn into long-term suffering simply because you didn't know a solution this simple existed. And if beets are the key that unlocks circulation, then the next food I'll share contains a compound almost identical to natural Viagra, but without the side effects, one that relieves the tightness and cramping down there that most men never dare to talk about. 2. Watermelon, especially the white rind. Gentle circulation and cramp relief. Here's a truth almost no one tells you. That strange tightness or dull tension you feel in your groin during arousal, the thing that makes so many older men shy away from intimacy, doesn't come from desire. It comes from blood vessels that are contracting. And the fruit that can ease that constriction? It's not ginseng. It's not expensive pills. It's watermelon. Specifically, the white rind you usually throw away. that overlooked layer holds a remarkable secret for men over 60, struggling with weak erections or uncomfortable tightness during arousal. That white part you discard? It's packed with a compound called citrulline, a powerful natural vasodilator that works similarly to prescription ED drugs but without side effects. Citrulline gently opens up the tiniest capillaries, allowing blood to flow more smoothly and more comfortably into your most sensitive areas, especially down there. After 60, these tiny vessels tend to narrow or harden, making arousal feel forced, inconsistent, or even slightly painful. Citrulline helps those vessels relax, soothing the underlying tension that creates what feels like a blood flow cramp in the penis. It's not a sharp pain, it's a dull tightness, a signal that your body is struggling to get blood where it's most needed. One of my 68-year-old patients once told me he felt a persistent tension in his groin, like a spasm about to happen, every time he got intimate. I suggested he blend both the red and white parts of watermelon into a morning smoothie. After just 10 days, he came back to my clinic smiling and said, "For the first time in years, I didn't feel that tightening in my groin. It was just warmth, comfort, and it felt natural." No pills, no procedures, just changing what he put in his blender. Unlike pharmaceuticals that force artificial arousal, watermelon doesn't push your system. It softens your vascular network, helping blood reach the right place at the right time, naturally. And sometimes, that's the difference between a disappointing night and an unforgettable one. If watermelon is the gentle lubricant for hardened blood flow, then the next food I'll share is the raw fuel that keeps that flow strong, steady, and full of vitality. It's a tiny seed that most people toss aside every Halloween, but it contains the minerals your manhood literally can't live without. 3. Pumpkin seeds, minerals that fuel masculinity. I once met Harold, a 70-year-old former mechanical engineer. He had a solid build, but his face always tensed up with embarrassment whenever we talked about intimacy. He told me, "It's not that I don't want to, but every time I get close, it's like something's choking me from the inside. It's no longer a joy, it's become a worry." That wasn't a disease, it was a silent deficiency of 3 critical nutrients: magnesium, zinc, and arginine. Fortunately, all of them are packed into a handful of humble pumpkin seeds. Magnesium helps calm the nervous system and softens constricted blood vessels, easing that groin cramp sensation so many men silently endure. Zinc is the raw material your body uses to produce natural testosterone, the hormone that sustains your masculine energy without depending on medication. And finally, arginine, an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide production, pushing blood deeper, stronger, and longer into your intimate areas. Harold followed my advice. He started with 1 handful of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds every afternoon, like a personal ritual. 3 weeks later, he came back, placed his hand firmly on my desk, gave a gentle squeeze, and said, "Doc, I had a wonderful night. Not because I felt young again, but because I no longer felt like I was getting old." That's the quiet power of pumpkin seeds. No hype, no forcing. Just the steady supply of exactly what a man's vitality needs to come alive from within. If what I'm sharing resonates with you, type the number 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can better support you. I used to think, if blood flows in, that's all that matters. But the painful truth is, many of my patients still couldn't maintain an erection even when blood was getting there. And do you know what excites me the most? I finally discovered that the root of that problem lies in 1 tiny fruit. 4. Blueberries. Sustain your erection to the very end. I used to think blueberries were just a playful little fruit, something sweet and delicate, more at home in muffins or summer desserts. But I was wrong. And not just a little wrong. I had underestimated the power of one of the most profound fruits when it comes to helping men over 60 maintain strong, lasting erections. Thousands of my patients, after adding blueberries to their meals 3 to 4 times a week, came back to tell me, "I'm not just getting hard easier, I'm staying hard until the end." My research uncovered something that might shock you. Blueberries don't just help blood flow into the penis, they help keep it there, They're packed with powerful flavonoids, especially anthocyanins, compounds that protect and strengthen the endothelium, the lining of your blood vessels. This helps prevent the leaking effect that allows blood to escape from the penis during erection. If you've ever felt like you could get up but not stay up, or you get hard fast and then soften just as quickly, your issue might not be blood flowing in, but blood staying in. And that's where blueberries shine. They lock the blood in the right place, creating a fuller, firmer, longer-lasting erection. This isn't just anecdotal, it's backed by science. Men who eat more flavonoid-rich foods like blueberries have a 14% lower risk of erectile dysfunction. Eating blueberries just 3 times a week can slash that risk by up to 22%. To me, blueberries aren't a dessert garnish. They're a silent, powerful gatekeeper, helping your flag not only rise, but proudly hold its ground when it matters most. Try eating blueberries a few times a week. You won't have to wait months. Within 10 to 14 days, you may start waking up with natural morning alarms again, your body's way of saying, I'm back. And if you think that's the end of it, it's not. If you know how to combine all 4 of these foods the right way, they create a domino effect that reawakens the full blood flow to your most sensitive areas. Your erections could return faster than you ever imagined. But skip even one link in this chain, and you may never feel the full, powerful, resilient erections you truly deserve. In the next section, I'll show you exactly how to combine them into a simple daily plan. Stay tuned. 5. Why these 4 foods only work when combined. I used to think, if one food is good for circulation, then just one is enough. But after more than 30 years working with thousands of men over 60, I realized a crucial truth. Not all foods affect the body the same way. And when you know how to combine them correctly, they don't just add up, they multiply the results. Think of it this way. You have a sports car, but the engine won't start, the tires are flat, and the oil is bone dry. You change the tires, but don't add oil. The car still won't run. You add oil, but the engine is broken. It still goes nowhere. The body works the same way. Beets boost nitric oxide and dilate the major arteries that drive blood flow downward. Watermelon soothes the tiny pelvic vessels, relieving those dull spasms that make your erection falter before it starts. Pumpkin seeds supply the essential minerals, zinc, magnesium, and arginine, that fuel strong, sustained blood flow. And blueberries strengthen the vessel walls and lock the blood in, keeping you hard until the very end, naturally. They work together in perfect harmony, restoring circulation from root to tip. Each food is one piece of the puzzle, but when assembled the right way, you get the full picture. I'll never forget Mr. Frank, 72 years old, nearly hopeless after 20 years without waking up feeling like a man. But just 3 weeks after starting this formula, he messaged me every morning with the same 3 words. It's back. No pills, no procedures. Just 4 natural foods, at the right time, in the right way. You don't need to look any further. You already have everything you need. All that's left is to act, and powerful, confident erections won't be a thing of the past anymore. But knowing isn't enough. Learning about these foods is one thing, but unless you turn them into daily habits, the benefits stay stuck on paper. That's why in the next section, I'll walk you through a simple, practical 7-day plan that lets your body feel the difference, starting this week. 6. A simple 7-day plan. I know many men, after watching up to this point, will ask, where do I even start? And I also know that the reason most men fail isn't because they lack willpower, it's because they don't have a clear plan. That's why I've prepared a very simple 7-day roadmap for you. No complicated cooking, no hard-to-follow recipes. Just small actions, done consistently, and your body will start to change. Early in the morning, on an empty stomach, drink a glass of fresh beet juice. This is when nitric oxide is most easily activated, opening up your blood vessels right at the start of your day. Many of my patients have described the feeling of waking up with energy flowing through the pelvis after just 3-4 mornings. Mid-morning, instead of reaching for a second cup of coffee, blend a watermelon smoothie, including the white rind. This is your precious source of citrulline, which soothes the silent spasms you may not even notice. It's like a cool breeze sweeping through aging, constricted capillaries. At lunch, after your meal, snack on a small handful of blueberries. The compounds in them act as silent sentinels, guarding your blood vessels from leaks and microdamage. This is what keeps the blood in, at the right place, at the right time, so you don't deflate just when you need it most. In the afternoon, before resting, have a handful of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. This isn't just a snack. It's a powerhouse of nutrients that fuel your testosterone, boost nitric oxide, and keep your blood flowing strong well into the evening. And alongside this plan, stay hydrated, take a light 15-minute walk each day, and spend a few quiet moments each morning reminding yourself you're not treating a disease. You're restoring your strength, your confidence, your masculinity. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. You don't have to try hard. You just have to start. The biggest mistake most men over 60 make is believing that one pill can fix everything. After more than 3 decades working with thousands of older men, I've come to a painful realization. Far too many are waiting for a quick fix, something that brings back their erection without having to change anything else in their lifestyle. And I get it. When you feel powerless, when your body no longer responds the way it used to, it's easy to get swept up in the sweet promises of medication. But the truth is, that's just an illusion. Viagra may help blood rush down faster, but it doesn't heal. It can't soften hardened arteries. It doesn't restore your body's depleted nitric oxide, and it won't take away the tightness, the dull ache in your groin, that strange pressure that feels like something's clenching you from the inside. Worse, it often comes with a price few people talk about: headaches, nausea, heart strain, and a hollow feeling when the drug wears off. Many of my patients have looked at me with quiet frustration and said the drug just isn't working like it used to. And I always tell them one thing: your manhood isn't broken. It's just starving. It's crying out for nutrients, for inner support. And food, the very thing most people overlook, is actually the most powerful form of restoration. It doesn't trick your body. It rebuilds it. The men who understand this, who stick with it, day by day, are the ones who truly come back. Back to strength. Back to confidence. Back to connection. And if you stay consistent, just 7 days from now, you won't be the same man you were. And I want you to remember this. You don't need to go back to being 30. You just need to feel that strength again, that firmness, that pride you once had. And that can start with nothing more than a glass of beet juice, a handful of pumpkin seeds, and an old watermelon sitting in your fridge. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for a miracle. Because the real miracle is when you begin, bit by bit, each day. When you start to nourish your body with what it truly needs, you're sending a signal that you're not done. That inside you, there's still a man ready to rise, ready to love, and ready to live every moment fully. And after just 1 week, when you wake up in the morning with that feeling of presence, of vibrant energy, the one you thought was gone forever, you'll realize you're not chasing youth, you're building a new kind of power. A version of you that is stronger, clearer, more alive, at 60, 70, even 80. That's the purpose behind this plan I've shared with you. And if you're ready, start. Not for anyone else, but for you. You're not weak, you're just missing blood flowing to the right place. You're not old, you just need to be revived from within. And you've never been past your prime. No one told you that your blood vessels can heal and your manhood can come back. I've sat across from too many men over 60, their eyes no longer bright, their shoulders slightly slumped, their voices trembling. Not because of illness, but because of doubt. Doubt in themselves. They tell me about waking up in the morning feeling nothing. No sign of life where their pride once centered. No motivation to look in the mirror and say, I'm still a man. And then they tried one small thing. A glass of beet juice, a watermelon smoothie, a handful of pumpkin seeds. They started slowly, expecting nothing magical. But their bodies responded. Mornings felt different. Sensation returned. Their bodies started to crave life again. Once the blood flows where it should, your vitality rises on its own. That's why I made this video. Not to make you young again, but to show you that connection, pleasure, and vitality don't disappear. They're simply waiting for you to wake them up. If you ever thought it was too late, today is the day to think again. And if you're still unsure, remember this. The body only grows old when you stop caring for it, but your masculinity only dies when you stop believing in it. So, don't stop at listening. Start tomorrow morning, and let your body prove that age can't stop a man who still wants to live fully. If what I shared today gave you hope, if it made you want to do something better for your body, then don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Every week, I'll bring you simple, science-backed insights to help you restore the energy, intimacy, and manhood you truly deserve.